Hello and welcome back to Learn the Bible in a Year. Here's where we're at in the story arc. A young king launches the most sweeping religious reform in Judah's history, but even his faithful cannot stop the judgment that is coming. The opening context is Josiah has just heard the book of the law read aloud for the first time. The prophetess Huldah confirmed that its warnings are real. Now he moves with remarkable speed and thoroughness. Josiah gathers all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem. He goes up to the temple with every person in the city, priests, prophets, and all the people, great and small. He reads to them everything written in the book of the covenant. He stands by the pillar and renews the covenant before the Lord. To follow the Lord, to keep his commands, and to obey his decrees and laws with all his heart and soul. All the people pledge themselves to the covenant. Josiah orders the high priest Hilkiah to remove from the temple every article made for Baal, Ashtaroth, and the starry hosts. He burns them outside of Jerusalem in the fields of the Kidron Valley. He does away with all of the idolatrous priests, the ones anointed by the kings of Judah to burn incense in the high places. He tears down the quarters of the male shrine prostitutes that were in the temple itself, which is insane. He desecrates the high places throughout Judah and around Jerusalem. He tears down the altars Manasseh had built in the two temple courts. And he smashes the sacred stones, cuts down the Ashtoreth poles, and covers the sites with human bones to make them permanently unclean, which is a bold move. I like it. Now Josiah goes north into what was once the territory of the former northern kingdom, Israel. Remember, Israel has been totally thwarted by Assyria at this point, so they're kind of out of the picture at the moment, but Josiah goes up there anyway. He finds all of the idols and altars that Jeroboam had set up there centuries earlier. He burns all the altars, grinds it to a powder, and burns all the Ashtoreth poles. He sees tombs on a hillside and has the bones taken out and burned on the altar to defile it. Josiah also reinstates the Passover. No Passover like this one had ever been observed since the days of the judges, not throughout the entire period of the kings of Israel and Judah. Despite all this, it is clear that the Lord does not turn away from the fierce anger that burned against Judah because of everything Manasseh had done. Josiah is the best king Judah ever had. There was no king before him or after him who turned to the Lord with all of his heart, soul, and strength. But the judgment was coming and it could not be stopped. Josiah's son Jehoiakim is on the throne. Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon has arrived. Jehoiakim becomes a vassal for 3 years and then he rebels. Raiding bands from Babylon, Aram, Moab, and Ammon are sent against Judah. We're going to see more about what happens in this story in tomorrow's episode, so stay tuned for that. Jumping into our New Testament reading, the opening context, we've finished now the book of Acts, and now we step into one of the most significant letters in the New Testament. Paul writes to the church in Rome. This church has never been visited, but one he deeply wants to meet. Now, Paul's introduction, he identifies himself as a servant of Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, set apart for the gospel of God. He describes that gospel as something promised long ago through the prophets in the Holy Scriptures. It concerns God's Son, who descended from David according to the flesh, and who was declared to be the Son of God in power by his resurrection from the dead. Not a soft opening. I love it. Paul explains that he has been called to bring about the obedience of faith among the Gentiles, and that includes the Romans. He tells them that he has been longing to visit them for many years, but he's been prevented to do so far. He owes a debt, he says, to both Greeks and non-Greeks, to both the wise and the foolish. He is not ashamed of the gospel, he goes on to explain, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew and then also to the Greek. The word Greek here is a synonym for the word Gentile. They're both used interchangeably. In it, though, the righteousness of God is revealed. The righteousness is that by faith from the first to the last is how you become saved. Then he quotes a very well-known prophet, Habakkuk, right? He's cool, Habakkuk. The righteous will live by faith. The key moment here is that the foundation of everything is Jesus. All right, we're going to finish up today by reading Psalms 84, verses 1 through 7, and it goes like this. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord Almighty! My soul yearns, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. Even the sparrow has found a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may have her young, a place near your altar. Lord Almighty, my King, my God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house, they are ever praising you. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose heart are set on pilgrimage. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make a place of springs. The autumn rain also covers it with pools. They go from strength to strength till each appears before God in Zion. Alrighty, well, that's the episode for today, and I will see all of you cool cats again here tomorrow.